Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Let me address a comment like this and just kind of nicely break it down. This guy is saying he's being kind of sarcastic, or maybe he's being halfway truthful about my knowledge of the court system, but he says, so you understand more as far as the court system and how to fight. And you're more loving than the millions of us who got effed up our lives, our reputation, our records, because we were just trying to be, I think he says, just trying to be fathers, just trying to be involved in our kids' lives. Here's what guys get that don't get. Look, I was in the same boat you were. When I first went to court, the first thing that happened when I went to court, I was blindsided with an anti-harassment restraining order. The mother said that I threatened her and that she called the cops, and then the cops gave her legal advice and told her to get a restraining order. So there's already some illegal stuff at the beginning of the case. I went to court. We had a couple hearings on the restraining order. The judge didn't fully adopt it because I got on the offensive. And after 23, doing this and working with fathers since 2001, I used to help answer the phone calls with Dads Against Discrimination after I got help from them and attended some meetings with them, collaborating with other fathers' rights groups. I worked with the Other Parent, a non-custodial parents' rights group that helped moms and fathers. Totally defunct now. Just like any other fathers' rights group that eventually died. The Dads Against Discrimination, those guys were around in Seattle since 1977, and it was fizzling out by the time I got help. And Bob Carls was burnt out in Seattle. So I've been in this and seen it from all kinds of angles. I worked at the courthouse. I worked as a paralegal. I worked as a legal assistant at the largest family law only firm. And I've been working with dads one-on-one. And the common denominator of dads who win and dads who lose is whether they're afraid or grow some balls and fight. That's it. I was in the same shoes that this guy was. And he's sitting there saying, oh, we got screwed in family court. That's because you didn't fight the right way. This is what I'm telling people over and over and over again. And guys just want to claim victim. And then when I get on here and talk about, everybody thinks I'm bragging that I won in court. Every single guy who got full custody that I worked with. You know, realize this. I stopped counting at 300 the number of dads I worked with, and they really helped themselves because they took information that I shared with them and ran with it. I empowered guys to go and fight the right way. 300 dads getting full custody without an attorney. You can't find an attorney who helped 10 dads get full custody in a contested case. I've never heard of it. Most attorneys 0, 1, 3, 5, or whatever, when clients have actually asked their attorney. And the reason why it's not more, because more dads don't try. I came across the formula. The only bragging right that I have is that I acted like a father who cared about his kid and was willing to do anything for her. And so I fought the right way. And I didn't know. This guy's saying, oh yeah, you understand more. Why don't you understand more? It's easier for you to get information. See, there's absolutely no excuses with me. I eliminate the excuses, like I said in another video. So guys get offended at that when I say, this is what works. If you don't grow some balls and go to war, you will get creamed. So then what's the problem? The problem is guys won't grow any balls and fight the right way. They talk all this smack about they love their kids. If you love your kids so much, act like it. Oh, well, that's hard. Okay. So you're saying I won't go through hard stuff for my kids. That's really what it comes down to. You have to make an extra effort. You have to overprove yourself because they think men can't do it. And I dealt with that prejudice. I dealt with it. I was in your shoes. Outside of guys who were falsely accused of child molestation and rape, I've been accused of everything else. I went through the same stuff you went through. I was falsely thrown in jail even after I got custody. The mother did a contempt motion against me for some piddly little bullcrap. She was saying I didn't give her school and medical records. My court order says I have to hand them over to her, but after a while she was not interested. And she had the phone numbers to the school and the medical facility. And since the mother had the contact information, I didn't bother voluntarily giving her stuff. So they did contempt motion against me. I was never served the paperwork, so there was a hearing, and I never showed up because I didn't know about the hearing. Because the judge emailed it to me at an old email address. He was acting like the secretary for the mother. So I've dealt with discrimination. Everything that you're complaining about, for the most part, I've dealt with, and I've been there. The only difference is I had the wherewithal and the desire to find out what it takes to fight the right way. And I did it, and I scratched and clawed. And when I didn't know what I was doing, I was looking for answers. Most guys like this don't have the balls to even get up and get off their lazy ass and go looking for some answers. That's the difference. It wasn't that I'm so smart and that I knew. He says, oh, you understand more. I didn't understand stuff until I scratched and clawed and looked for it. And the information that I got to understand how to fight, I'm sharing literally 100 times more information than what I'm sharing with you guys 100 times more than what I had back then. So now what's your excuse? What's your excuse? Oh, it's hard. I shouldn't have to fight for something that's mine. We're equal parents. We're equal under the law. Yeah. And so what? You're going to surrender your kids because it's hard? Men are supposed to be warriors. Most men talk a whole bunch of shit that they can't back up. You have to sit down and have a talk with yourself. I brought this kid into the world, or these kids into the world. It's not their fault that they got a crazy mom. I'm the only one that can... Same theme I keep saying. But guys just want to get offended. They want to justify. This guy wants to be a smart ass and say, oh, so you're better than us. We got screwed. You did not fight the right way. Now, there's rare cases where a guy's going to do everything that he can and they'll still get screwed. Because they might have a radical feminist, man-hating judge, hairy-legged judge. She got molested by her dad and she hates all men. But then it's time to go to the Court of Appeals or follow up with that. But if you don't fight the right way, you will get railroaded. That's just the reality. So do you want to fight the right way? No? Okay, then don't cry. Just say, I'm just going to be a pussy and quit on my kids. The fact that the system isn't fair, life's not fair. You might go outside and get struck by a drunk driver. Lightning might hit you. Something tragic might happen to you. You might not get a job that you're qualified for because somebody was kissing the manager's boss or promotion or something. Life's not fair. And a lot of guys truck through and push through unfair circumstances of life when it comes to work or their money or their property or their dog or their car or something they're passionate about. But then when it comes to their kids, all of a sudden they turn into a sissy pussy little bitch. And here's the thing that people don't understand. There's no middle ground on this. You either quit on your kids or you go all out with everything that you have. That's it. And the reason I can speak and the reason I can talk and the reason I can say it with confidence, or people will say it's arrogance, is because I actually did it. And I want to share this with people who actually want to fight for their kids. But I have to sift through a bunch of pansy, pussy, crybaby cowards all day long, every day, to get to that one person and who really wants to fight. And then this guy is saying, well, you understand more. You could have understood if you wanted to look for the information, especially nowadays. What's your excuse? Because I had to go look in the library and read books and drive 20 minutes each way to go to the library on my free time. See, when you get in a court battle, you have to decide, okay, I'm setting aside the next year of my life. It's work, food, sleep, and fighting my custody battle and looking for stuff. Most guys don't want to do that. Most human beings are bystanders. They watch events in life. They say, oh, that's tragic. These politicians are doing this to us. Or these taxes are tragic. Or that tragic. Or child trafficking is tragic. And the family court system is tragic. And nobody's doing anything. Everybody likes to stand on the sidelines and be a critic and whine and complain. There's very few who will jump in and actually go to war. But there's a whole bunch of people like this that'll talk shit about somebody like me who actually won and then give an excuse why they couldn't do it. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. You could have found this information. I've been online all this time. No excuses.